Crash Bandicoot and its massive success in the early 90s with the first few games of the franchise have made him a beloved icon in the gaming world. I mean, think about it. Amazing main characters, great story, great controls and beautiful environments. The game seems so simple, yet the game was miles ahead of its time, and along with the difficulty, it became a massive PlayStation 1 classic. As developers have been switched around, the series has been on the decline. Crash Mind of a Mutant was the last mainline Crash game released in 2008, before the 9-year disappearance of the franchise. So as the title of the video says, what actually happened to the Crash Bandicoot franchise? The downfall started with Naughty Dog, the original developers, leaving the franchise to work on Jak and Daxter, which is also a massive PlayStation 2 hit, but let's leave that for another day. This loss made the hardcore fans feel more disconnected, but how come? Later titles and games caused Crash to have a small identity crisis, because without Naughty Dog's help and guidance, no developer was able to recreate the same magic. I mean, look what happened after. How did we go from this to this? With Naughty Dog's departure, Crash began to enter a period of uncertainty, with the rush to release new titles and the absence of a clear vision ultimately destroyed its reputation. The main issue was that the game had no clear direction, and because many different developers tried and failed. Wrath of Cortex for the PS2 had been quite underwhelming, characters look weird, controls are ass, and tried so hard to be Crash 3, but failed. Crash Twinsanity was a fun and great experience, funny game, amazing story, yet so rushed and unfinished, with so many glitches present. The game was just rushed. It's hard to ignore when playing, even though it's a great game. Nitro Kart was literally Crash Team Racing, but slightly worse. Crash Tag Team Racing was even worse, marketed as a racing game, but 90% of the game looked like this. But enough with the racing games. Crash Bandicoot XS, Entranced, Boom Bang, and Crash Purple just kinda happened in the background. Crash of the Titans and Crash Mind of a Mutant were totally different. No idea what possessed Radical Entertainment and Sierra to make Crash look like a kid with tattoos and jeans, and focusing on fighting Titans mutants. I don't understand the difference, they just seem the same to me. You get me, this franchise really had no idea what to do with him. Crash Bandicoot after Naughty Dog went on to other great future games. The Crash Bandicoot identity became muddled and quite confusing. Unfortunately, Crash Bandicoot was no longer a beloved character everyone grew up with and remembered him being. As a result, the quality of the game suffered, and once the beloved franchise began to fade into obscurity for another 8 years. And then suddenly, on a random day during the E3 event in 2016, the moment no one could have predicted. And so, the love and the nostalgia for this franchise have been revived from the dead. In June of 2017, Crash Bandicoot returned with what made the franchise great in the first place, with a full-on remake of the first Crash Bandicoot games together into one game called the Insane Trilogy. I still love that pun. It sold 10 million copies worldwide by 2019 and revived the series entirely, which allowed Activision to start something new with that orange marsupial. And then the massive success with Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled happened. Although the game is kinda dead now, we can't deny that OG CTR was also a certified classic, and this game delivered 1,000 times more than what all of us could have expected. Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time was the next brand new game in the series 12 years later, and it sure delivered on what a great platformer should be. Crash Team Rumble has had a mixed perception by fans, but let's be honest, we still play the PS2 Crash games regardless of how good and bad they are. At the end of the day, we all love Crash Bandicoot. I've said this before. I'm very excited to see what our favourite Bandicoot has to offer in the future. Toys for Bob, Beanox, Activision, I need Crash Team Racing 2 in my life, and then a certainly open world Crash 5 game. Let me know in the comments what is your favourite Crash Bandicoot game, and what games would you like to see from Crash in the future. The possibilities are endless, and it's kind of mad when you realise that Insane Trilogy has released 6 years ago already. Time is flying by, we've already got 5 Crash games in the meantime. Yes, I know Crash on the Run is officially dead, quite literally, but that still counts as a game. So if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell for post notifications, follow all my socials, would be massively appreciated. Hopefully I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.